I'm going to show you everything that you need to know to launch your first successful Facebook ad campaign from complete scratch. This video is designed to get you from somebody who maybe doesn't know a whole lot, if anything, about launching Facebook ads to a literal freaking ads expert. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Mark Studer, and as you can tell by my shirt, I run ads for a living. So who better to learn from than somebody who does this every single day? After you're fully logged into your Facebook account, the first thing that you want to do is go to business.facebook.com. And the first thing we're going to do is set up what's called a business manager. You can see this is the first screen that we see right here. It's going to pre-fill in your name. So with Facebook, there's this infrastructure where at the very top, you have a business manager. You want to think of this as a house, and inside of the house, there's a bunch of different rooms that you can have, such as you can have a room for the ad accounts. You can have a room for the pixels. And the business manager is what holds all of that together. So if you're building a house, you're going to start from the outside in. You're not going to start by building one of the smallest rooms, right? You're going to start by building the foundation and actually building the house first before anything else. So that's what we're doing right here. You want to start by naming your business manager. You can name it whatever you want. I'll just call mine Mark's BM. And then here you're going to have your name. And lastly, down below, just add your email that you want to use to be associated with the business. And then you're just going to click submit right here. And boom, there you go. Your business manager was created. Great job. You're doing great so far. Now you just are going to have to confirm your email address. So go over to your Gmail account or whatever you're using and click the link inside of that email to actually confirm the creation of the business manager. So here you can see we got the email. We're just going to click in here and just hit confirm now. And there you have it. You've officially created your first business manager. Great work. You're doing so good. So now that you're in the business manager, the first thing you want to do is scroll all the way to the bottom on the left side and click business info. And here you're going to select edit, and you're actually going to go through and insert all the information that you have that's associated with your business. Now, if you don't have a business, that's okay. Just fill out the information that is associated with you personally. And then when you do create the business eventually down the line, you can come and update this information at any time. No biggie. So where it says legal name of business, if you don't have a business, you can just put your own name right here, and country, obviously the country that you are staying. Same thing with the street address. Again, if you don't have a specific business address, just use the one that is associated with your residential address. It's fine. You can always come back and change it later down the line. It's not a big deal. After you finish all that, you're going to just hit save in the bottom right hand corner. Now that you're back in the main screen of the BM, next thing to do is to go to the section that says people. So scroll all the way up to the top on the left-hand side. So people is where you can add other people to your business manager. So for example, if you want somebody else to run your ads or you have a business partner, this is where you can go and do that. You just go up to invite right here in this blue button. You're going to enter their email address that's associated with their Facebook profile and then just invite them to your BM. It's like a little BM party. Just invite them over. Just come on over. But for me, I don't have any friends, so I'm not inviting anybody to my business manager. It's my party of one. Next step is to add two-factor authentication. Now, I know for a lot of you, that's probably kind of a pain in the butt to set up, but I promise you it's worthwhile. And the reason why is because oftentimes you will see ad accounts get hacked, which means people will actually hack into your own ad account and spend your money and then disappear. Poof, they're gone. And there's nothing you can do about it. I'm only saying this because I have personally had experiences of this, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, it sucks. Just gonna go to Security Center right here, and right under two-factor authentication, we're going to hit everyone. And from there, you're good to go. 2FA will officially be set up anytime you try to log into the account. Now that we have kind of the general structure of the BM set up, we're gonna move into actually creating your own Facebook page. So to do that, you're gonna go right under pages. Who would have thought? You're gonna hit add. Very important here, you're going to select a third option. You're not going to hit add a page. This is if you're adding an existing page, but you probably don't have a page. So you're going to go right down to where it says create a new page. It's going to create a brand new Facebook page from scratch associated with your business. So let's go ahead and click that. So whatever your business name is called, you want to put it right here. In this case, I already have one for my business, so I'm just going to call this one Mark Has No Friends. And under category, pretty common, you're just going to choose whatever is associated with your category. So let's say like I run an education business. That's a great one. So we'll select like education. It's absolutely not mandatory. Just select whatever is most associated with your business. In the bio, as you can see here, it's optional. So that means that we don't do it. It looks like Facebook is telling me I don't have friends. Now we can see that Mark's BM officially has the Mark Has No Friends Facebook page. So we're going to just check this box that says I agree and hit create page. I do have friends. I swear. I pay them a lot of money. So now that the page is done, we're going to do the exact same process with the ad accounts, because right now no ad account exists inside of this business manager. There's no ad account room inside of this business manager house. So just go to ad accounts over on the left hand side under your BM, hit add, and then create a new ad account. Ad account name. I wonder what we're going to put here. Once again, you can name this anything that you want. So if it's associated with your business, you could just put your business name and then ad account right after. It's pretty standard. In my case, Mark Has No Friends ad account. Pretty standard. Then underneath time zone, you want to select the time zone that you're currently living in. It's probably automatically populated, but I'm in the New York time zone, so I'm going to keep that. And then currency, once again, just use the standard currency that you plan on advertising in. So if that's dollars, that's euros, doesn't matter. Just select the one that you're currently using. This is really important because you cannot change the currency. So like, let's say you accidentally select Turkish lira. You can't go back and change it. Like the only way is just to create an entirely new ad account, which is a total pain oftentimes. So make sure you actually select the right one. Don't mess it up. And here we want to select my business, hit create. Now you're going to have this little box pops up that says add people and set permissions. So this is kind of weird. So you have to assign yourself to an ad account. Just because it exists inside your business manager does not mean that you can run it. So you have to actually assign yourself as a person that can run that ad account. So what we're going to do here with this box is check this. Then we're going to check manage ad accounts. That means you can view the performance, manage campaigns, manage Creative Hub, everything, right? You're basically an admin on the account, and we're going to hit assign. So before you start running your ads, you'll get this window again where you have to add payment info because, you know, you got to spend money to make money. So we're going to close this window, hit exit, and continue with the setup. All right, so now you have the ad account. What we're going to move on to next is verifying your domain. So whenever you start running an ad, again, this is kind of weird that Facebook does this, but you have to verify that you actually own it. So if you try to run ads without a verified domain, you may not get the ad approved, or you may get lower quality traffic because you didn't verify the domain. So it's just a good general practice to verify all domains that you're running. So in this case, we're going to go right under brand safety, hit domains, hit add, and then we're going to create a new domain. And now here you're going to enter the domain that you already have purchased. If you haven't purchased one, you can just go to GoDaddy and buy one. It'll cost you like 20 or 30 bucks all in. It's very cheap. Oh, wow, it's available. If this video doesn't do well, I will have bought markhasnofriends.com for nothing. As you can see, it says the domain is not verified. So what we're going to do from this dropdown is hit the third option to update the DNS TXT record with your domain registrar. So because I just bought through GoDaddy, I'm going to head over to GoDaddy and put this little record in. It's very simple. You can do it with me if you follow along. So I'm just going to copy here and go over to my domain. I'm going to hit add a new record. I'm going to choose TXT and I'm going to put this is the value. Boom, as a name, hit save. Yeah, so as you can see, our markhasnofriends.com domain is verified. Very quick. That was under a minute. That was actually pretty crazy. So the next most important step is that you set up your pixel. And if somebody ever says, hey, I don't know what a pixel is, can you explain it to me? This is all that you need to know. All it is just a really cool piece of technology to track each and every person that comes to your website. Now, to actually set it up, all you have to do is go to not the pixel section, actually kind of weird, but you're going to go into the data sets section and go ahead and hit add. Under add, you can name this data set whatever you want. And we'll call this one the Mark Has No Friends Pixel, and we'll do the friends with a Z. So after you hit create, you see this screen right here. Now, I could go into detail about what each of these options means. What is Conversions API? All you need to know is that it's a good thing and you want to keep this dot checked. All right. So we're going to hit next in the bottom right hand corner, and then we're going to select check for partner. Now, a lot of you, if you're watching this video, you're probably in the e-commerce, probably running stores on Shopify. So we're going to go ahead and select Shopify right here. And Facebook makes this so easy to actually get integrated. So all you're going to do is hit this blue button, go to Shopify. It'll open your Shopify account right here. Just select your store and we're going to hit install right here in the bottom right. So because Facebook is a massive company and Shopify is also a massive company, they have these really cool partnerships that makes the integration super easy. When I was starting out, it was so difficult to get the pixel installed and so confusing. So you really got it good, you know, take advantage of it. So we're going to select our BM right here, Mark's BM, hit connect. And now we see this window pop up about managing your data sharing preferences. Now this section, we want to select maximum. All you need to know is that the more data you allow Facebook to give you, the better of an ad runner that you're going to be, the more profitable ad campaigns you're going to run. Because one thing that you take away from this video, it should be that data is freaking king. So we're going to hit save in the bottom right here. Next, you're just going to select the pixel that you just created. The Mark Has No Friends pixel right here. And we're going to select connect. And then the terms and conditions, check the box, don't ask any questions, and submit for review. All right, and just like that, we're good to go. We got the green active run ads on Facebook and Instagram. So all the pixel setup is officially done. So let's go back to the pixel settings on Facebook. And we're going to just select next in the bottom right. And then enter the URL that's associated with your business. So for us, that's just going to be the online store here. So I'm just going to grab this URL, paste it in, and hit send test traffic. So what Facebook is doing now that the pixel is installed is they're sending what's called like test traffic to your website to be like, okay, this person actually did visit and the pixel is actually capturing that data. So now we're back in the BM and you can see that yes, the pixel is active. So everything was connected successfully. Seeing that green button is a good mark of verification that we're good to go. And then we're just going to hit finish in the bottom right here. So the pixel has officially been set up. Good job. Give yourself a little pat on the back. You did great. The final thing that you have to do, and again, this step is just kind of weird, but you absolutely have to do it, is you have to assign that new pixel that you just created to your ad account. So the way to do that, if you go to data sets, is you're just going to select the pixel that you just created, which for us is a Mark has no friends pixel with a Z. And then you're just going to select connected assets, assign asset, and select the box of the new ad account that we already created previously. So this is the Mark has no friends ad account. And boom, now we're good to go. So we can actually jump inside of the ad account now, and I'm going to walk you through how to actually create your first real profitable ad campaign. Everything that we've done so far is literally just like laying the groundwork. We're setting the foundation because it's kind of annoying to set up. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's one of those things that you have to get done. And if you don't, you're just not going to be able to run profitable ad campaigns, if at all. Now, to actually hop in the ad account, we're just going to go to the ad accounts, select the one that we had created, and hit open in Ads Manager. Now, before I create a single campaign, everything I'm about to show you is extremely fun, but it also gets extremely complex. So one of the most important things when you're running ads is simply having a feedback loop. So like I'm about to show you how to create your campaign, how to create your ad sets, how to launch it, and you'll get this huge burst of dopamine just flooding into your brain because you just launched your first successful ad, as you should. However, the hardest part is letting the ads actually run, looking at the data, and then making data-based decisions on how to make your ads more profitable. To this day, I personally have mentors that I look up to understand how to look at ad data better. And so that problem, like just not knowing how to read the data, is actually exactly why we created Brand Builders Academy. So this is our community. We actually teach you everything there is to know about e-commerce, about Facebook ads, and we're actually so serious about your success that we will assign you a success coach where you can ask them questions about your ads. You can hop on calls with them. You can actually make sure that you run profitable ads from day one, because having that feedback is so freaking crucial. So if you want to apply for BBA, for Brand Builders Academy, just click the first link in the description. So Facebook has a hierarchy inside of it. At the very top of the hierarchy, you have the campaign, and you kind of want to think of these as the big building blocks of your ad account. What is it that you actually want? Do you want sales? Do you want engagement? That is all determined at the campaign level. Underneath the campaign, you can have multiple different ad sets, and all the ad set is simply who is it that you're really after? Is it men between the ages of 35 and 55 that are interested in construction? Is it women between the ages of 25 and 37 that have an interest in makeup? This is where the actual targeting is done. This is where the who is captured. And then the ads are underneath each individual ad set. So you could have 3, you could have 5, you could have 30 ads underneath one singular ad set. And the ad, of course, is the creative. This is the most important part of the ad account, the video or image that you're using to try to get customers for your business. Without further ado, let's hop in and create our first campaign. So you're going to go up to this beautiful green button here and select create. Under buying type, we're going to keep it as auction. And as you can see, you have all these different objectives around what you want your campaign to actually do. Whatever you tell Facebook to optimize for is exactly what it will give you. If you want a bunch of leads for your business, it'll come back and it'll give you leads. If you say, hey, Facebook, I want some more likes on my Instagram post. So you select engagement. Facebook will come back and give you a whole bunch of engagement. Seems pretty straightforward, right? The most common question that I get, and I'm not joking when I tell you this, is people saying, well, I have this website, but nobody's visiting. I need traffic. So they'll hop in the ad account, they'll create a new campaign, and they'll select traffic. And you know what happens? They spend all this money running a freaking traffic campaign, and then they come to me like,
Mark, I got all these people to my website, but nobody bought.
I wonder why, Steve. I wonder why. It's because you said you want traffic and you don't want sales. God damn it, Steve. What you should do is actually optimize your campaigns for what you want, which 99% of the people watching this video right now, you want sales, all right? You want to make money and run profitable campaigns. That's why you're here in the first place. So you're going to select sales and hit continue. Now you're going to get this option to do what's called an Advantage Plus shopping campaign or a manual sales campaign. So an Advantage Plus shopping campaign is where you tell Facebook, hey, I'm not going to tell you exactly who I want to go after. I'll just give you the creatives. You spend it how you want. Advantage Plus is a super powerful tool for scaling, meaning when you want to spend more money on ads and increase the amount that you're spending every single day, Advantage Plus campaigns are phenomenal. But when you're starting out, I highly recommend that you go with a manual sales campaign. So that's what we're going to do. Now that we're inside the campaign, the first thing you have is actually naming it. Now I could give you 100 different naming conventions right now, but all that really matters is that you know exactly what's going on inside your campaign without actually opening it. So for example, if I were to close this off and I just see this one campaign that we're building right now, without clicking into it and looking at the settings, am I going to know exactly what product is being sold, at what budget, when did it start, What type of campaign is it? That is all you need to know. So I'm not going to go over a specific naming conventions. Just keep it simple and keep it organized. Now, if we scroll down past that, you don't need to select a category unless you're selling to a sensitive category like financial products, employment, housing, etc. So we're going to go ahead and skip that because that's not what we're selling. And we're going to keep the Advantage Plus catalog ads checked off, and also the Advantage campaign budget checked off. So this, if I were to turn this on, this campaign is officially what's called a CBO, which stands for campaign budget optimization. All this means is that you set the budget at the campaign level instead of at the ad set level. So for example, if you have a campaign and there's 5 ad sets within that one campaign, but you turn on CBO and you set, let's say, $100 a day budget, you're telling Facebook, hey, you can spend $100 a day across any of these ad sets exactly how you see fit. If you want to spend $99 on one ad set and 25 cents across the others, you can do that. And oftentimes that's actually what does end up happening. But for us, since we're starting off with a brand new account, we're going to stick to ABO, which is ad set budget optimization. So you set the budget at the individual ad set level instead of at the campaign level. So moving down, we don't need to adjust any of these settings here. We're just going to go ahead and hit next, move on to the ad set level. Now, again, the ad set is the who. Who is it that you're actually trying to target in this particular ad set? So for conversion, we're going to keep website selected. We're going to select our pixel here. Mark has no friends with a Z pixel. Under conversion events, we're going to select purchase, because once again, what you tell Facebook to optimize for is exactly what it's going to give you. So if I were to, instead of purchase, select something like add to cart, then you're going to turn into somebody like Steve, and you're going to get all these add to carts and 0 purchases. Under attribution setting, you'll see it'll say 7-day click and 1-day view. Once again, I could go into detail about this, but all you need to know is that that's a great place to start, and you don't need to adjust it until you're spending just a stupid amount of money on ads. So keep that as is. So you can see here, dynamic creative is turned off. We're going to keep it off. Dynamic creative is another one of those features created by Facebook where they're like, oh, you just give us a bunch of inputs, a bunch of creatives, headlines, copies, blah, 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 and we'll figure out the best combination. And yeah, in theory, that makes a lot of sense. But I can tell you, after spending a stupid amount of money on ads at scale, this really doesn't work that well for numerous reasons. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I listen to data, and the data says that just traditional creatives are much better. So keep that checked off. Now we'll move to the budget. Under the budget, I highly recommend keeping it as a daily budget instead of lifetime, or instead of selecting an end date. I'm a big fan of keeping it simple. And when you're launching new ads, you should be hands-on. This idea that you just like launch ads and you set it and forget it, and then you go on a vacation to Bali is just complete bullshit. Ads are something that need to be looked after, especially in the beginning. You want to look at the data. But if you set a lifetime budget or a budget with an end date, then I know you just have the wrong intentions going in. So keep it as a daily budget. And in terms of how much it should be, what I highly recommend is set the daily budget at what your product is priced at currently. So let's say I was selling a $30 product. I'm just going to go in here and put 30. And then I'm going to let that run for a minimum of 3 days, which means this specific ad set will spend at least $90 so I can actually look at the data, see if this is something worth pursuing and what adjustments I need to make to the product or to the creative. Now that we have the budget set, you have to schedule for when you want that ad set to start spending. So for me, I always think it's best practice to schedule for the next day around 4 a.m. because I only run ads in the US, and that's when naturally a lot of people are beginning to wake up. I know you're thinking, Mark, who the hell wakes up at 4 a.m.? You would be surprised because I have people buying products at 4 a.m. I don't know who they are, but I love them for doing that. And let's move on to audience controls. Before I go through audience controls, we're just going to scroll down here and select switch to original audience option. All right, so we're not going to be using the Advantage Plus audience. Again, this is one of those Facebook features where they want you to give them control over the audience, but on a brand new ad account, I don't recommend that. So we're going to hit use original audience. So like I said earlier, this is really the who of your campaign. Who do you want to target? This is where you can set the age, you can set the location, you can set the gender. So I'm just going to tell you exactly what I would recommend. Number one, I run the far majority of my ads in the US, so we're going to keep the locations as United States only. However, if you're selling in other countries, obviously just use what's most common sense. Now for the age, unless you have a product that's only going to be used for a specific age group, I highly recommend keeping it very broad. While Facebook does have its issues with like control, and there's all these features where they're like, oh, give me control, give me control. I'm actually a big fan of keeping it broad because the more data that you can give Facebook and Facebook can give you on where your buyers actually are, the better results you're going to get. So keeping it broad initially is a great way to start out your campaigns. And it's the same exact process for gender. So if you're only selling a product that applies to men or only selling a product that applies to women, then obviously select which one makes the most sense. So let's say we're selling a skincare product. So I'm only going to select women here, and I'm still going to keep the age very broad because skincare is a timeless niche. It doesn't matter if you're 16, doesn't matter if you're 65. You probably buy skincare products. The next part is to move on to the targeting, right? The interest targeting. The best practice here is just to add one interest that's associated with your product and to not overthink it. So for us, we're selling a skincare product, right? So I'm just gonna search skincare and see what pops up. And immediately we have skincare cosmetics, simple skincare, CeraVe skincare, Ren skincare, image skincare. There's just a stupid amount of interest, and there's probably a lot more if I were to keep scrolling. The guidance I want to give you here is only select audiences that are ideally no greater than 100 million in total size, because we're only selling in the United States, keep in mind. So the skincare audience, for example, is between 257 million and 302 million. It's a little bit too big. We want to dial down just a little bit more. So let's select the CeraVe interest just as an example here. So this one was 3 to 3.5 million. That's perfect. Next, we want to select the language. Once again, just use the language that you're actually selling in. The final section at the end of the ad set is the placements. All placements means is where do you want your ad to actually show up? Do you want to show up on the Instagram feed? Do you want to show up on Facebook stories, which apparently are a thing? The best practice here is just to use what's called Advantage Plus placements. This is just a fancy way of saying every single one that Facebook has access to, and it's going to spend based off of how people are interacting per placement. So I don't want to go too in depth on that particular topic. It just means everything. But if you only want your ads to show in the feeds or only in the reels, then you just select edit manual, and then you can see each and every individual placement that there is. Every feed, every story, every reel, you can select and deselect every single one. But for us, we like to keep it simple because we're Chad media buyers. So we're going to hit Advantage Plus. And that's it for the ad set level. Now we're going to hit next and go to the ad. Before I get started on how to create an ad, you need to understand that this is by far the most important part of running ads on Facebook. It all comes down to the ad itself. You could totally mess up on the targeting and the interest and still make money. You could probably totally mess up even on the campaign and still make money as long as your ads are good. That's why my whole thing is run more ads. Should say run more good ads. Because if you run boring ads, nobody's gonna watch. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about who you are. For the ad name, same process as before. Just use something simple and organized so that you can know exactly what's going on in that ad without actually opening the ad itself. Under the identity section, you can see we already have the Mark Has No Friends Facebook page is already selected, so we're good to go. The Instagram account, we're just gonna use the selected Facebook page. So you don't actually need to create an Instagram account to run ads on Facebook and Instagram. So I actually don't recommend people create an Instagram account right when they launch, unless you already have one with at least 10,000 followers. And the reason why is because on Instagram, especially when people are buying something, they are so vain. They are so judgmental. So if they see a brand new Instagram account that has 0 followers and like 3 posts, that's working against you. And that's going to affect the conversion rate that you have on your store. So I recommend if you're just starting out from scratch, just select use Facebook page, and then you can create an Instagram account later down the line. It's not a big deal at all. Now it comes down to the actual ad creation. So on Facebook, there's really 3 types of ads that you can create: image ads, video ads, or carousel ads. And carousels are just a collection of multiple images or multiple videos in a row. For us, we're just gonna run a simple image ad because they're very cheap. So you just wanna select single image or video and deselect multi-advertiser ad. Under ad sources, we also wanna keep this completely blank. Once again, this is another thing where Facebook is trying to get more information from you, and this doesn't help you in any way. And now go down to the actual ad creative. So when you hear somebody say creative, or how many creatives are you testing per week, which is something I ask my team every single week. Creative is simply the image or the video associated with your ad. It's what has the most power, the most pull amongst any part of the ad. More than the copy, more than the call to action, the creative is by far the most important element. And if you get that right, especially the first 2 to 3 seconds of the creative, you will make so much money. Like Facebook will become a thing where you put $1 in and you get $3, $4, $5 out. That's why paid ads are so powerful. So we're gonna upload the ad that we already worked so hard on creating. So we're just gonna upload and gotcha. So our ad, beautiful ad right here. Before we actually upload it, you want to make sure that it fits every single placement. So I just keep it on original because I find that if you change the original resolution of that image, it just looks really wonky and really weird. But we're going to keep original for all 3. That's what I recommend. Hit next, and all the ad optimization, just skip them all. I promise they're not worth it. Another thing that you need to know about Facebook is that they'll have all these errors around your account. They'll say like, oh, this is not going to be good for your results. You need to have more creatives. That's not true. Facebook is a business at the end of the day. They want the money of small business owners like you, especially people that have no idea what they're doing. And so most of these errors, for the far majority of the time, you can just completely ignore them. If you follow exactly what I've told you to do, in this course, you will be way better off than any Facebook recommendation that pops up on your ad account. So things like this, you can just completely ignore. X amount. Outside of your creative, there's one additional piece of your ad that is by far the second most important, because the number one is the creative. Number two is your primary text. This is the text that appears right underneath your Facebook page, but right above the creative. So let me just like type out a little thing right here as an example. You can see this is right where it appears on Facebook and then right below the image on Instagram. So think of it kind of as the caption. But the way that people's brain works when they're scrolling on Instagram, the first thing that they see always is the creative. So that's 90% of your success of the ad right there. Once they watch a little bit of the creative, they'll actually glance up to the primary text, or they'll look at wherever their caption is going to be. So on Instagram, it's down, but on Facebook, it's up. That's why the primary text is the second most important piece of the ad. And after that, it would be the headline and the description, which if I were to write a headline, for example, that's going to be right here on the ad, and on Instagram, it doesn't even show up. And then the description, of course, is going to be right below the headline. Again, on Instagram, it doesn't even show up. That should tell you how important it actually is. Doesn't even show up on Instagram. The final thing I'll say about ad copy is Facebook loves rejecting ads, and they'll reject ads for a number of reasons. Sometimes it's completely random, but most of the times it'll reject ads from the ad copy based off what you write. So if you're writing something that's really what we call aggressive in the industry, you know, like if you're selling a weight loss product, easily lose 20 pounds in 2 days without diet or exercise. Facebook has an AI built in, and it's going to analyze that and analyze the sentiment around that particular claim and that piece of text. And it's going to say, yeah, I don't think so. That sounds super unrealistic. And what you're writing is not in the best interest of our users, our collective users. There's over 1 billion monthly active users on Facebook. That's not even including Instagram or WhatsApp, which Facebook owns both of those. So general rules are don't have any really aggressive claims like that, any wild transformations, and don't cuss. You can bleep out curse words, but don't just outright cuss, and don't write in all caps. Writing in all caps is one of the worst things you can do, because oftentimes you won't actually get rejected for having an ad that's written in all caps. But what Facebook will do is they'll say, wow, this guy was really trying to sound so important that we're going to punish him, and we're going to increase his ad costs like crazy, to the point where it's not even worth running ads. And years ago, I had a client that this happened to, and I was like, what is going on? This is so weird. And we look at the ad, I'm like, oh, well, there it is. He wrote everything in all caps, and it was like 200 words. So just write like you're a normal human being selling a product to a random stranger on the internet, and you'll be just fine. Now, for the call to action, I like to keep it very simple. I typically keep it as shop now or learn more. So if you're selling an e-commerce product, then keep it as shop now. Anything else, just keep it as learn more. Now, if we scroll down here, the last thing that we really have to add is going to be the ad destination, which is a fancy way of saying the URL that you want the traffic to go to after they click on your ad. So for us, that's going to be our pretty little test Shopify store that we have here. So we're just going to copy that and paste it right into the URL, and we're good to go. You don't need to put anything for display link, browser add-ons. Again, this is just, it doesn't help your conversion rate. It's not going to make you more money. You don't need to do it. All the other settings at the ad level, you don't need to touch. We have the link, you have the copy updated, the creative is there. That's all that you need. The only final thing that's a great add-on, if you scroll all the way down, so if you're running an e-commerce store, I highly recommend you use Triple Whale for tracking. If you're running info, I highly recommend you use a software called Hyros. If you're running anything else in between, send me a DM on Instagram and I can help you out a little bit further there. So what you'll do is paste some simple URL parameters right here at the bottom of all of your ads, so that anytime somebody clicks and buys something from you, you can know the exact ad set, the audience, you can know everything about where that person came from to optimize your ads better. And that's it. So all you have to do is go to the bottom right, and we're going to select publish. So I'm just going to add my payment information here. I'm going to hit next. So this is a really important thing about, once again, Facebook and how they categorize what type of payment method that you use. I'm just going to tell you what to do and then tell you why. You should select credit card and nothing else. Don't pay with PayPal. Don't pay with an online bank connected. Don't pay any other way except for a credit card. The reason why is because Facebook, like I said, is a business, and they always want your money. You are the target for Facebook ads. If they see you add PayPal, which is not as secure as something like a credit card with the US banking system, they're actually going to alter the quality of traffic that they send you because of the payment method, which is crazy. But they will send you lower quality traffic, lower your conversion rate, lower your average order value, and you'll make less money simply because you changed the payment method. All right, and we're good to go. The card has been saved. It has been added. So you may have to hit publish once again. So we're just going to select publish on the ad. Now that we have the payment method added, boom, there you go. You did it. You just published your first ad on Facebook. Great job. So now that your first campaign is actually live and you're going to start spending money on ads, this is where the real work begins. All that stuff that I just took you through, I hate to say it, that was the easy part. That was just setting things up. Now you get to actually run and manage testing new creatives, testing new audiences, testing this, testing that, testing everything, and just seeing what sticks, what is really resonating with the audience. And one of the best ways to really do that is simply to know your numbers, know what metrics to look at, and cut out all of the noise. Let me actually show you how to create some custom columns to properly analyze your data. So we're going to go to columns right here, and you're going to go to customize columns. Now over here on the right hand side, right under campaign, we are going to delete everything except for delivery and budget. Everything else we're gonna build from the bottom up. So just X everything out here. Great, now this is a nice clean start. So first we wanna click impressions, which is just a fancy way to say how many people actually saw your ad. And next, while you have impressions searched, you're gonna select CPM, which is how expensive it is for you to advertise to 1,000 people. After CPMs, we're going to select CTR, and you specifically wanna select link click-through rate. This is the percentage of people that see your ad, stop, and click the link to go to your website. After CTR, we're going to select CPC. Same process. You want to select the one that says cost per link click. And again, that's how much you pay Facebook for one click to your website. Next, you want to search for link clicks, which is pretty straightforward, how many people actually clicked on your ad. Next, you want to search for landing page views, and you're going to select total. So this is the amount of people that both clicked and landed on your landing page, because a lot of people will click, and because your website loads too slow, they'll leave before it's even registered as a landing page view. Next, you want to add to cart. So we're going to search add to cart and hit total. And then all of these, you want to deselect every single one. Next, we're going to do initiate checkout, hit total, and same process, deselect all 4 of these checkboxes. Next is going to be purchases. So for purchases, we're going to select total, deselect all 4. And while you still have purchases searched up, you're also going to select value and purchase ROAS. So scroll down, and you're going to uncheck all 4 for conversion value. Keep scrolling, and then uncheck these 2 for ROAS. So the purchases conversion value is just a fancy way to say how much revenue you actually generated. What was your sales for this ad set, for this campaign? The cost per purchase is how much you're paying for a purchase. Pretty straightforward. And then the purchase ROAS is what is your return on your advertising dollar. So if I were to go to Facebook and spend $100 on ads, and I brought back $200 in revenue, that would be a 2.0 ROAS. After all this is done, you're going to go to the bottom left, save as column preset, and you're going to type in run more ads as a constant reminder that you always need to be running more ads. And just go to bottom right and hit apply. There you go. You got all these beautiful custom columns saved and ready to go so that you can analyze data like a real expert. All right, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Facebook ads are complicated. They're tough. I've been running ads for 6+ years, and there's still stuff that I see that I'm like, what the hell is even that? That's why it's so important to have like a coach or a mentor that can give you personalized one-on-one feedback. Again, that's why we built Brand Builders Academy. So if you want to learn how to run ads most successfully with e-commerce specifically, just click the first link in the description to apply for that program. Other than that, make sure you subscribe. I got more super valuable videos coming for you. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.